Okay, well, we've been looking at quadrants. So here are the quadrants. This is the last screencast. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just fancy words for the different angles that you can get. Right around in there. Let's work out the sines and cosines of angles. If I want to work out the sine of 350 degrees, well, it's not entirely obvious what that is like. We're sort of going right around here, and well, compared to our triangle in standard form, this one, what's going on? It's not entirely obvious how to do it, so I'll show you. Shump. So let's just start quadrant 1, and I'm just going to draw a triangle. This is quadrant number 1, quadrant number 2, 3 and 4, right? You'll remember that we've got opposite, oh no, that one's opposite, isn't it? Opposite this angle here, theta, and this one's adjacent, not opposite. Get myself tangled up. That's adjacent. So what we can say is that the opposite, I've kind of implicitly assumed it, but I've not actually stated. The opposite angle is positive because we've had to climb upwards from the axis to get to that point there. And also the adjacent is also positive because we've got this way, and this is the positive direction to go adjacent. The hypotenuse is always greater than 0, whatever. So the hypotenuse is greater than 0 because that's just a distance, it's not a direct distance. For quadrant 2, well, quadrant 2 is a little bit harder to deal with because quadrant 2, your theta has come around here, so we've got theta, which is an obtuse angle. Okay, yeah, sorry, I had a bit of a glitch there. So if theta is obtuse, so theta looks like that, we're in this quadrant here, we're in quadrant 2. So again, if I draw my little triangle, yeah, if I draw my little triangle, never mind obtuse and acute, we can just say quadrant 2 angles. That means that the opposite angle, which is this one here, is still positive, it's still greater than 0 because we're climbing up. But the adjacent is negative because we've gone in the negative direction. Here we went in the positive, that's a right angle. Here we went in the positive direction, and here we're going in a negative direction. So the adjacent is less than 0. So that's how to calculate that. Now what about quadrant 3? Quadrant 3, here it is. We've got a point down here, for example. In this case, I'm going to go over myself onto there, but the adjacent is negative because we've come downwards, or we've come right to left, which is the negative direction. But also the opposite is also 0 because you see we've had to climb up here and here, so that's positive. So the opposite is positive here and here. But here the opposite is negative in quadrant 3. And quadrant 4, we'll just do another little triangle here. That's not very neat. Get rid of that. Try again. There you go. Another little right angle here. That's the opposite. So we're sort of opposite this kind of point here. That's the hypotenuse. In all these cases, that's the hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is always positive, yeah? Hypotenuse is always positive. In this quadrant here, we've got the opposite being negative because we've climbed downwards. And the adjacent, that's positive because we've gone this way. So we've got this peculiar pattern of results here. The hypotenuse is always positive, so we don't need to worry about that. So now we're in a position to work out the sines and cosines of angles in all 4 quadrants. Okay, so I'll do that in the next screencast. Save this one.